This is a third-party audit. No attempt is being made to define the character or honesty of anyone in this video or anyone that has played a part in its creation. My intention is to simply evaluate the accuracy of the information vended by the video's creator and materials they cite or display. Is the thumbnail honest? No. While it does not actually have text that makes an impactful statement, it does imply that Chuck Schumer is in serious trouble, and that John Fetterman is done with the Democratic Party. This is not actually proven in the video. Is the title honest? No. It says, John Fetterman leaves the Democrat Party as Chuck Schumer just lost everything. This is not actually what happened at all. Nowhere in the video does it prove that John Fetterman has left the Democratic Party or that Chuck Schumer has lost everything. Statements presented as facts but should be cross-referenced with other sources. Democrats prioritizing health care for undocumented immigrants over preventing a government shutdown. This is presented as a factual motive, but no evidence is provided that Democratic lawmakers explicitly chose that priority. Why that framing is misleading. No evidence of such a choice. In congressional negotiations over a continuing resolution or government funding, the disputes usually involve multiple policy areas, not just health care, and not specifically health care for undocumented immigrants. Democrats, in their official statements, typically frame their position as protecting overall health care provisions, for example, Affordable Care Act subsidies, and keeping the government open, not prioritizing undocumented immigrants. No record of an explicit stance. There is no public record of Democratic leadership, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, or others, stating, "We are willing to risk a shutdown because we want undocumented immigrants to get health care." Because such a statement doesn't exist, attributing that motive is not factual, it's inference by the speaker in the video. How shutdown negotiations actually work. A government shutdown usually occurs because Congress fails to agree on a spending bill, continuing resolution, or budget. Negotiations can include disputes over spending levels, social programs, border security, defense funding, etc. One party may accuse the other of prioritizing a policy demand over keeping the government open, but that accusation is a political characterization, not evidence of an explicit decision. Senator John Fetterman walking away from the Democratic Party. The statement frames it as a decisive break from the party. In reality, Fetterman still caucuses with Democrats. Occasional votes with Republicans do not equate to leaving the party. Party affiliation. John Fetterman is still a Democrat. He was elected as a Democrat in 2022 and has not announced leaving the party. He caucuses with Senate Democrats, meaning he is officially counted in their numbers in the chamber. Voting behavior. Like most senators, Fetterman has occasionally voted with Republicans. This is not unusual. Members of both parties sometimes cross the aisle on specific issues. A single, or a few, votes aligning with Republicans does not equal leaving the Democratic Party. Public statements. Fetterman has criticized members of his own party on rhetoric or strategy. But those criticisms are internal disagreements, not a withdrawal from party membership. He has not declared independence, as Bernie Sanders or Kyrsten Sinema have done in the past, nor has he switched parties. Elon Musk quote about Chuck Schumer importing voters and bribing illegals to come to America. This is cited as something Musk said. The specific language about bribing illegals is not verifiably from Musk, and the underlying claim, importing voters to create a one-party state, is not substantiated by evidence. What Elon Musk has actually said, verifiable. Musk has repeatedly posted on X, Twitter, about immigration and U.S. politics. He has claimed that Democrats encourage illegal immigration because it will eventually benefit them politically, sometimes by implying immigrants will later become voters. For example, Musk has said things like, "If you import enough voters, you can create a permanent one-party state." Democrats want illegal immigrants to get all this and are trying to save their party through illegal immigration. These are stated as factual strategies but are actually assertions of intent with debatable proof. Why these are assertions of intent, debatable. Implied motive. Democrats want undocumented immigrants to receive government benefits, and that their reason for this is to preserve or expand political power. Lack of documentation. There are no internal party documents, official statements, or verifiable quotes from Democratic leadership stating, "We are using illegal immigration to save our party." The factual policy record. Democrats, generally, have supported some protections for undocumented immigrants, for example, DACA recipients, access to emergency health care, certain social services at state/local levels. Republicans often argue that these policies incentivize more illegal immigration and could eventually affect voting demographics. But undocumented immigrants cannot vote in federal elections legally, and Democrats have not introduced legislation to make them eligible to do so. Sanctuary states and cities are a matter of heated debate. Left-wing terrorism climbs to a 30-year high coming from Exos. No readily available evidence shows Exos published data explicitly saying left-wing terrorism reached a 30-year high. The claim is unsupported as stated. What Exos has actually reported. Exos regularly covers domestic extremism, often summarizing research from organizations like the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, the FBI, or Homeland Security. Exos has indeed reported on trends in U.S. political violence. For example, they published pieces highlighting increases in politically motivated violence and breaking it down by ideological category. However, a direct claim, left-wing terrorism is at a 30-year high, does not appear in Exos's reporting. Searches of Exos archives and fact checks show no evidence that Exos used that exact framing. Trump posted photos confirming he placed multiple Trump 2028 hats on display. These are real photos. These are not AI. The authenticity of the photos is asserted and is reiterated by photos from other news outlets. Why this matters. The U.S. Constitution forbids a president to occupy the office more than twice. Donald Trump is in his second term, and therefore cannot run for president again for the rest of his life. LV Nation is very factual in his content to higher degree than most. I respect his effort and hope that he continues. I encourage you to check out his channel and decide for yourself what you think of his work. You will find a link to his video mentioned here, along with links to information sources in the description below.